to win the chip. So what team has the best chance to derail a finals rematch? Mr.
Stephen A.
I'm going to say, believe it or not, everybody wants to say the Clippers. I want to as well, but damn it, that Blake Griffin's got to step up, be healthy. And DeAndre Jordan, could you hit better than 50% for the free throw line? Pretty please, with sugar on top, it would be nice. I know it's popular to say San Antonio because now you got Tim Duncan gone, Pau Gasol, and David Lee are there with Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge. But there's something, it's call it my spidey senses, something tingling. I don't know how to put it. I think the Oklahoma City Thunder has arguably the best shot to derail Golden State. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but when I think about the assassin that is Russell Westbrook, when I think about the fact that they added Victor Oladipo, who can ball, as your new backcourt mate, so for the first time, they really have a backcourt mate with Russell Westbrook. Yes, Kevin Durant is gone, and Oladipo doesn't make up for Kevin Durant. But Steven Adams with Enes Kanter and those crew, I don't like the fact that they lost Dion Waiters, but I'm looking at Oklahoma City and the fact that it is clearly Russell Westbrook's team, and he doesn't have to defer in any way, psychologically, literally, or otherwise, to a Kevin Durant and how bad he's going to want to go at them. And I'm saying to myself, in terms of the best shot, I could see the Clippers, something happening to the Clippers to derail them, even though I would love that matchup between the Clippers and Golden State because they hate each other. And plus, I'd rather be in L.A. than Oklahoma City. I ain't gonna lie to you. The bottom line is I got to look at Oklahoma City with Russell Westbrook and say that they may have the best shot of anybody out west of knocking off Golden State and derailing this trilogy.
Man, did you overthink this one? You got the right answer, and then you kept adding and subtracting until you got the wrong answer. The Oklahoma City Thunder have no shot. Oladipo takes some pressure off Westbrook in the backcourt in a sense, but who's going to shoot the ball? They got no shot. No one has a shot against the Warriors. The best, and clearly in the East, that's a given. Barring catastrophic injury in Golden State, that's a whole other story. But barring catastrophic injury to like Durant or Steph Curry, knock wood, that doesn't happen. The answer is the Clippers, but not as currently constructed. They would need to make a deadline deal for a 3-and-D player who can actually play. A Luol Deng type. I don't even know. They don't have the assets on the books, but they have some salaries that would match up. They'd have to do future draft picks or something. But if the Clippers could get a competent 3-and-D player and everyone stays healthy, they have the best shot to derail a rubber match. No one else does. The Spurs would have to move Aldridge for a piece that fits better. Then they'd have to develop chemistry over the course of the year. That's too big a thing to move in your team. It changes the dynamic too much. And while Pau Gasol at this point is an offensive upgrade over what Tim Duncan was last year, defensively he's a massive downgrade, even over a slowed-up Tim Duncan. I don't like the Spurs. I think the Clippers got the only puncher's chance, and then only if they get a real 3-and-D guy before the deadline to play the 3. Because the 1, 2, and 4, 5 are all right. This
is what annoys me about you, because you'll say all of that, right, and then you'll knock me for saying that Kevin Durant has ruined my regular season, because during the regular season there's no suspense. So here you are talking about, oh, it's good to watch and you never know and blah, but then you sit there and you articulate all of this other stuff. This is my point. That's why I consider it so weak that he decided to go to that team, being the superstar that he is, because it's a game of horse as far as I'm concerned. Look, Steph Curry is arguably the most unselfish superstar we have seen outside of LeBron James. He don't care about his numbers. He doesn't care about anything. He's willing to defer. It's not a big issue to him. Klay Thompson ain't going to defer. He's going to get his shots. He's not going to change his game. But Steph Curry doesn't care if Kevin Durant sits up there and does what he does. If Kevin Durant is dropping 60, they're going to help him do it. They're going to try to make Kevin Durant have a season for the ages. It's going to be interesting to find out, but at the end, it all comes down to this. We will be right back here in June. It will be Golden State. It will be the Cavaliers. It will be the trilogy. It's just that simple.
Yep, in maybe the greatest rubber match in the history of the NBA. I mean, it could be argued with what's at stake and the level of the teams and how they dwarf the competition in each conference.
I do have a wish. First finals when Cleveland lost to this team. Kyrie Irving was hurt, all right? And pretty much Kevin Love. LeBron James was a one-man army, and he had no help. Last year, Steph Curry wasn't 100%. Draymond Green got suspended in Game 5. Andrew Bogut was hurt for Game 6 and 7. Iguodala was as well. I'm just hoping that both teams stay healthy so nobody has any excuses,
that's on the
any
Warriors.
rationale
By the
whatsoever.
way, you talk about the Warriors. That's on the Warriors. Don't play Steph Curry in overtimes of meaningless regular season games down the stretch if you want to limit the risk of injury, as they did last year. Draymond Green, don't do things when you've been warned and people are watching you that might get you disqualified. That's very different than what happened to Kyrie. Anyone can get hurt, but the Warriors, those were largely, I think, self-inflicted wounds going into the finals and in the finals last year. And even if you want to say that, well, it's not necessarily playing Steph those overtimes that led to the injury, it certainly didn't lower the risk of injury. I don't buy the excuse for Golden State. I do buy the Kyrie and Kevin Love excuses for the Cavs the season before. Because when Matthew Dellavedova is your second-best player, you ain't going to win.
It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. It's a reality. Regardless of how self-inflicted it was, it factored into the outcome. All I'm saying is that in the end, I want both teams fully loaded, fully healthy, where there's no excuses, no rationale whatsoever. It just is what it is. The two best teams going up against each other. Again, we'll be back here in Cleveland in June.
All right, you heard from the guys. We want to hear from you at home. Go on Twitter now. Vote for the team you think has the best chance to derail a third straight meeting of the Cavs and Warriors in the final. Spurs, Clippers, Celtics, or other. And coming up next, it's Tebow time. We are looking forward to that. There he is. When we come back, Tim Tebow joins the program, the People's Champ. Don't go anywhere. This is First Take. Stay here.
The winner of this year's Heisman Trophy is...
You have never seen any player in the entire country play as hard as I will play the rest of the season, and you never see someone push the rest of the team as hard as I will push everybody the rest of the season. You never see a team play harder than we will the rest of this season. God bless.
The Denver Broncos select Tim Tebow.
He wants to throw it long down the middle of the field. It's Kellerman again, run. The 40, the 50, the 35, the 40. Thomas to the 35, the 30, the 15, the 10. He's down to the end zone, and it's a touchdown, and this game is over.
The New York Mets are having a press conference today because they are about to sign Tim Tebow to a minor league contract.
A force for sure. Our next guest really needs no introduction. He's a Heisman Trophy winner, a national champion, and now a multi-sport talent. His new book, Shaken, Discovering Your True Identity in the Midst of Life Storms, is available in stores and online right now. Tim Tebow joining us now from Arizona. Tim, thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. How are you doing?
We are all good. And appreciate the time here. I want to talk about your move from the football field to the baseball diamond. It's been well chronicled, of course. What's been the hardest part, though, transitioning from football to baseball?
Well, it's a completely new sport. It's something that I didn't do competitively for 12 years, and so it's a huge transition. You know, it's something I think a lot of people just thought, oh, you know, you made this decision on a whim, but it's something that I thought about, I prayed about for a while, and it was something that was in my heart for a long time, and, you know, finally made the choice to do it, and I'm loving it. I'm so passionate about the sport, and I enjoy playing it. My two favorite things to do growing up was, one, to be a quarterback and have 10 other guys look at you in a huddle and lead them on a 2-minute drive to win the game, and the other one was to hit a baseball. And I love that one-on-one matchup. It's just fun, you know, and I'm honestly excited to be able to pursue something for the love of it.
Tim Tebow, good to see you. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you.
What's up,
Let me
Steven?
get right
What's up,
to
Stephen
it.
A?
Let me ask you a question. If you loved baseball so much, how in goodness name did you go so long without playing the sport before deciding that you wanted to play the sport?
Hey, Stephen A., have you ever loved more than one thing?
Yes.
Do you love more than one thing? So
Yes, I do.
sometimes you have to choose to do one, and it was the second hardest decision of my life when I chose to go to the University of Florida to play football and give up baseball. It was something that was, it was heartbreaking for me. And there were several times at Florida that I almost went to play on the baseball team, but with everything we were doing in football and the goals and the championships we were trying to win, I was staying focused on it. But then when the opportunity presented itself, and I had some people come look at me, and went to Boca Raton, Florida, and played with some different Latin guys, and felt like, hey, maybe I can do this thing. And so I decided to try to give it a shot because it never really left my heart. It was always with me.
Tim Tebow, I defend you on this show against Stephen A. Smith oftentimes, and you really turned my head around with your play in Denver when, look, they went 7-4, you won a playoff game. But when you say you love baseball and you love playing quarterback, you're known as a guy who inspires teammates, that you can make a unit greater than the sum of its parts, the whole greater, because you lift and inspire, and that makes you a team player. But when you say, I love hitting a baseball and I love playing quarterback, so if I can't play quarterback, then I just want to go into baseball, do you see how some people would view that as selfish in a way? I mean, it's your own happiness, but like, why doesn't he just go try to play something else in football, because he's obviously a good football player? How do you respond to that?
Well, yeah, I totally get it, but I'm so thankful that I don't have to live my life based on what other people want me to live. If I was on a team and that team asked me to do something, I would do anything. But if I'm not on a team and a team offers me a contract to go sign with someone to play tight end, H-back, fullback, running back, whatever it is, and I've had a lot of those offers, well, I don't have to go sign with that. I'm not on their team. And so that's just making a professional decision to go do something that I didn't really have in my heart. It wasn't a dream. I'm sure you've turned down contracts, Max. I know everybody wants you, and you've turned it down. Does that make you a bad team player because you turned down a contract with the team you weren't on?
In my case, maybe, Tim, but that's a very good distinction you're making. And I have another question. Can you just take me through it a little bit? How did it feel when you beat the Steelers in the playoffs as quarterback of the Denver Broncos? Could you take us through that a little bit?
I'll tell you what.
That's such a cruel question.
It felt really good, Stephen A.
Yeah. Tim, see, here's the deal. Going back to Max's initial question, I guess where we're going is this. You are a Heisman Trophy winner. You are a national champion. You're about winning. And so the way I look at it is that if you haven't played the sport in over a decade, your chances of success at that particular sport are limited, whereas with football, because you clearly have that it factor, and there are other things that you can do on a football field other than play quarterback, your chances of success seems to be greater in the sport of football than baseball. So what's wrong with somebody looking at you and saying that's what you should be doing?
Well, it's fine if they look at me and say that's what I should be doing, but they're not me. And when are dreams based on chances? Dreams are based on something that's in your heart, that are passions, that are something that you want to go try, not on chances. I mean, I'm so grateful that I get to go pursue something, even if it's a long shot, for something that, yeah, I might be able to go do and go do pretty well, but if it's not in my heart, why am I going to do that? I think that's something that's unfortunate in society, is a lot of people just go do what they feel like they should do and live with the status quo and go live by all these rules, and hey, this is going to be okay, just go accept your average 9-to-5 rather than striving for something, because the ultimate goal isn't to succeed or fail. The ultimate goal is to give it everything you have for something that's on your heart and a dream, and pursuing that. And if you get to live out your dream every single day, then the result doesn't matter. I can look back 20, 30 years from now and be able to look at this time and say, you know what, I gave everything I had to football, I gave everything I had to baseball, and I was able to live out some dreams. And in my opinion, that's pretty awesome.
I'm inspired.
Tim Tebow, I'm going to transition. Hey, listen, be quiet, Max. I'm talking to my friend. I'm talking to my friend, Tim Tebow.
Like
okay? Mind your business. Tim Tebow, let me switch subjects. I was reading something here. I was reading something about you talking to Good Morning America, and you alluded to the possibility of you in politics someday. I have a question for you. Who do you believe would be more effective as a politician, you or the aspiring governor of Alabama someday, Mr. Charles Barkley? Who would be a better politician?
That's a really good question. I'll tell you what, he would not be terrible. TRBL, he would not be terrible. He could get some people behind him, that's for sure.
That's not an answer.
Well, he's a good politician. I think
Hey,
Tim is showing you
I
what a
gotta
good